Howdy folks, I'm Charming Chameleon, charismatically cheering for clattery chariots.
I'm Amber.
And here are more clattery chariots for us to chase. And Amber, what is chameleon?
A chameleon.
It's just a chameleon, folks. We change our skin color. We blend in. Like me into the background because it's very dark in here. Because we lost power. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Convincing My Husband's Female BFF to Give Her Baby a Unique Name? All names are changed to protect the identities of the guilty. My husband is not and will never be romantically attracted to his BFF. He loves her like a sister. However, she is quite often giving him the vibe that she is interested. She's gotten pregnant just before we did, and her husband is a good guy, and he will give her almost anything. We were discussing baby names, and I said that we had a list that we were narrowing down, and she wanted the list. I said no, and this went on for months. I finally just said that she could pick any name that she wanted to, and I promised not to give our child the same name. This stopped her for a little bit, and then she came back and just asked me for the most likely candidate. I said to my husband that we wanted to name our son after his friend from college who passed away. This was a joke, and I didn't really think that she would take me seriously until she introduced us to her baby Delonquist, no apostrophes. My husband commented that it reminded him of his buddy, and she seemed happy, until our son Daniel Alden was born, and she asked if there were any other names that were less boring, and we told her that we were always going to name him after one of our grandfathers. We just couldn't decide which one would be the middle name and which one would be the first name. She was mad, and she started yelling that I tricked her into giving her son a very stereotypically African-American name. My husband asked what she meant, so I was honest, and I said that I was joking, and I picked a name that I always thought was neat, but not for me. My husband thinks that I was a jerk to mess around with his friend, but he's more upset that she would try to steal a baby name. Her husband is now also saying that I'm a jerk for getting her to name her son that, and I said that they could just call him Dell. Dude, they're getting a Dell. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, she just asked what OP's most likely baby name was. It wasn't like she's like, hey, OP, what should I name my kid?
Yeah.
And the fact that OP knew precisely that she was planning on stealing the baby name tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really what this boils down to. She messed around and she found out, right? OP was one step ahead of her, and she's just upset about that because she was trying to steal the name that they were going to use. So I really don't know why she would think that she was going to get away with this.
Yeah, and she has no right to be upset. I mean, again, all she did was ask, what are you naming your baby? She took that name. Like, the only person that OP's husband should be upset with is the friend who wanted to steal the name.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm kind of thinking about this. Now that we know that she's interested in OP's husband, if she was trying to, like, live vicariously in having his child...
That's my guess, something like that. Or to make him be like, oh, look, I'm on the same wavelength as you. I picked the same name. Who would have thunk?
Yeah. So I do think that OP wasn't in the wrong here, and the friend just really stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, and OP's husband may need to set some more boundaries with her if she's, you know, doing these kind of things.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And article number 8985 says, not the jerk, it's her own fault for trying to steal your baby name. And if her husband is so angry about the name, why did he agree to let her call the baby that in the first place? And OP replies, he will do anything that she wants. And Phil Connor says, and you're comfortable with that? And OP replies, it's her husband. Why would OP be comfortable or not with this? Like, that's just a silly question. I know there are no silly questions, but yours, Phil Connors, is a silly question. And individual U6586 says, you didn't get her to do anything. She preyed on you for months, and she had already decided that she wanted to grab the name before you named your child. You could have told her your child was going to be called Caesar, Pharaoh, Napoleon, and she would have grabbed that too. She is not being very smart here. She is the jerk. And Bookie214 says, imagine growing up and asking your mom and dad why you chose the name that you did, and they say, because my best friend was going to be naming their baby that, and that's why I stole the name. Like, wow, thanks parents for the well thought out name for the human that you two created. I mean, that does bring up an important point. Aren't they going to be curious about why they named them a certain name?
Well, it just shows the kid is some kind of prop in her scheme to whatever her scheme is.
And our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Giving My Childhood Best Friend an Ultimatum About Attending My Wedding? I've been called a bridezilla for this, so I'm open to honest feedback. Ella and I have been friends since first grade. Ella has another childhood friend, Cam, who she's known since kindergarten. We currently are all 26. Some background information. Cam and I were friends as kids, but naturally drifted apart as we aged into adolescence and adulthood. We were almost always on friendly terms. Ella and I grew up closer as we got older. All three of us attended the same college. It was a big state school. Ella and I lived together for all 4 years, and I found that Cam was becoming quite competitive with me throughout college. Like if I went on a date, Cam would ask the same guy out. When I got an internship, Cam submitted an application and asked to be considered even though the position was already closed. I joined a nice gym off campus and Cam joined the same one. I babysat through college and Cam found some of the moms through Facebook and messaged them offering her babysitting services. When I started dating my fiance, long distance at the time, Cam got his number from Ella and texted and asked to meet and grab some drinks. Ella is the most passive person I know. She will do whatever she thinks she's being pressured into. I'm not a pushy person and I don't feel the need. Cam is an extremely pushy person and does not like to take no for an answer. Because of this, there have been many times growing up where Ella and I had plans and she canceled last minute because Cam wanted to hang with her. She's shown me in text chains where she said no to Cam like 5+ times, but Cam kept pushing. Ella needs to assert actual boundaries, but whatever. I value her as a person despite this, and I simply stopped viewing most plans with Ellie as serious with some expectations such as non-refundable vacations and my wedding. Well, I'm getting married in June and Ella is a bridesmaid. Save the Dates went out a year ago. We didn't invite Cam, but she is aware of it. Last week, Ella received a save the date for Cam's wedding. This day after mine on the other side of the country. Impossible to attend both. Ella has been desperately trying to figure out what to do. Cam asked her to be the maid of honor, and I got a call from Ella yesterday crying that Cam is pressuring her. Ella said, for a compromise, that she'll attend my rehearsal and spend the whole day before my wedding with me. Then my actual wedding day, she'll fly out to Cam. I said no. I told her that it's ultimately her choice to decide which wedding that she'll attend, but she is not welcome to attend my rehearsal if she voluntarily is skipping out the wedding. I reminded her that she said yes to being my bridesmaid almost a year ago, and that she has been prioritizing plans with Cam, pressure or not, over plans with me our whole lives. I said that I will understand whatever choice that she makes, but I will not be willing to continue a friendship with her if she won't honor this commitment. Ella is distraught and begging me to reconsider. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. It's time that Ella grows a spine. I mean, I understand it not being a confrontational person, but she has a previous commitment. Like, there's an easy out here. And it doesn't even sound like Cam is a good person. It sounds like Cam has been in this weird competition with OP for years, this one-sided competition.
Yeah.
Like, she's tried to take everything from OP.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to prioritize that person over the person who is actually, like, doesn't sound like being a terrible human being?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that Ellie feels conflicted here because she probably wants to attend both weddings. But this is clearly manipulation on Cam's part. And Ellie should have said no to the wedding from the very beginning, and that way there is no question about which wedding that she'll attend. And I think that this is really, again, a lot of nonsense on Cam's part. I just think that Ellie needs to, like you said, grow a spine and say no.
Yeah, well, and I feel bad for Cam's partner in all of this because it seems like she's getting married primarily to try and spite OP and pull Ella away from OP's wedding.
Well, I mean, that brings up a good question. Like, is this actually a serious relationship? Is Cam going to be divorced? Is she going to race OP to the divorce? Like, imagine she hears, like, OP's getting divorced, and she's like, I'm going to beat her to the divorce proceedings. I don't know. I'm just being silly here, but it does raise questions about how serious the relationship is and whether or not the boyfriend is being pressured into a marriage just to appease Cam's sense of competition.
And maybe someone should, like, let him in on what's been going down. Like, if she set the date on her own and, like, he's just been going along with things, Maybe it's time someone tells him about this ridiculous competition so he doesn't end up in a marriage just so that she can, steal Ella away from Opie's wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that is excellent. Hopefully somebody lets him know. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Resource Better 7454 says, not the jerk, and she's an extremely passive person, but not with you. She rolls over and says yes to anything asked of her except with you. The thing that really annoys me about people pleasers / passive people is that they seem to be okay with prioritizing the needs of the users in their lives over the people that genuinely care about them and respect them. It's selfish and manipulative. Although Cam is overtly malicious towards you, it seems like Ella is okay with being covertly terrible towards you. Perhaps the two of them belong together because they both seem quite audacious. And OP replies, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's because I've never pushed or pressured her. She goes along with whoever is applying the most pressure to her, whether it be Cam or someone else. I don't do that to her, so it's never been me. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Giving a Girl Tips on Improving Her Golf Swing at Golf Last Night? Edit, I am on my iPhone 15, so apologies for typing and grammar errors. I'm working on fixing them. I love how he had to throw in the iPhone 15.
Well,
I imagine that's the latest iPhone.
Yeah, it tells you everything you need to know about this guy.
Good morning. I just woke up to a text all but calling me a jerk, so here I am. I have a 14 handicap in golf. I'll spare the boring golf talk, but it means that I can hold my own on any course. Last night, I was supposed to meet my date at Top Golf, but at the last minute, she had a family emergency and couldn't make it. I was really bummed because she and I have been seeing each other for weeks, but life is life, right? I wasn't busy, so I decided that I might as well stay and I practiced my swing. A group of girls were there in the stall next to me, obviously there to have fun. I noticed one girl had a lot of potential, but was pulling her head. So I just told her to keep her head down through her swing, and on the next swing, she crushed the ball. On her next turn, I noticed that she was doing something weird with her left arm, so I said maybe work on straightening it out on her backswing. The next time that she was up, I commented that maybe she could work on her stance. And this is when it all went down. Her friend got up and basically had like her Instagram up and said something like, you see this? I am on the U of A golf team. If she had questions that she could ask me. We are here to have fun and you are interrupting us. I tried to explain that I was a 14 handicap and she interrupted me and said that I was mansplaining and not listening. I told her that she had the totally wrong idea and that I was supposed to be on a date, but she canceled and I wasn't trying to offend. She said it's obvious why her date canceled, and she and her friends are the second chance prize. I explained that I have been dating the girl for a while and that I was just trying to be helpful. She said, so you're a cheater and every girl on the planet has seen that act before, and to leave them alone. I obviously wasn't trying to hook up, but I did want to make amends, so I observed what the original girl was drinking, and I went and got her a drink, and I wrote a note on the back with my business card and said that I was sorry that her friend got so offended, and that if she ever liked to golf for real, please text me, and I left. I woke up and apparently the girl had texted me that she was floored by my audacity, and usually she would never have gotten in touch, but she had to let me know that I was such an obnoxious jerk. Then she said not to respond, and that I've blocked you and will go out of my way to avoid you if I ever see you around. I mean, I was just trying to be helpful. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP was definitely being a jerk here. Now, it's one thing to ask someone if they would like some pointers. OP never asked, he just kept inserting himself. It was very clear this wasn't a serious competition. They were just golfing for fun, and he had to keep harassing this one person and telling her, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And then, after the friend called him out and pointed, hey, we're just here to have some fun, he proceeds to, like, buy a drink and, like, be like, if you ever want to play golf with me, just let me know. Like, they just accused him of wanting to cheat, and he did a thing that looks very much like he's trying to get with that girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think OP is hopefully well-intentioned here, but very, very poorly executed. I don't think that he was trying to cheat, and I don't think that he was trying to be obnoxious, but I think OP is also one of those people who is kind of a know-it-all and likes to demonstrate their knowledge and stuff like that. And I think
Very,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say he's very clearly a show off.
Yeah. And so I think that OP, you should have just left them alone after she said that and been like, yeah, well, I'm sorry. If you ever want any tips, just let me know. I can help you out. But it's clear that you're not interested. And then you could just, gently bow out and not have to offend at that point in time. And I mean, it sounds like the other friend was getting frustrated, and maybe she knows her friend better than you do, and knows that her friend kind of doesn't stand up for herself or something like that, or if she even is getting annoyed that she won't say anything because she's kind of a people pleaser. So it could just be that she was trying to stick up for her friend.
Yeah, and in the future, like, before you go giving unsolicited advice, see if people even want to hear the advice. Like, it doesn't matter if you think it's really great advice. A lot of people are not looking for unsolicited
Mm-hmm.
advice, and it just comes across as hurtful and like you're belittling them or you're showing off your, and it doesn't go over well.
Or you're hitting on them.
Or hitting on them
Right.
too.
And yeah, I think that, again, I don't think OP is the worst person in the world. I'm really hoping that this was just a misunderstanding more than anything, and that they weren't actually trying to hit on the girls. But if they were trying to cheat, then yeah, you're a jerk. But I mean, it doesn't seem that way. It just seems like OP was seriously just interested in golf.
I don't know, like the optics are so bad.
They
It's
are. They're
like,
very, very bad. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
what do birds make jewelry with?
Birds make jewelry using twigs. We all know this. I mean, they don't really have much to do other than make twig jewelry.
With the use seed beads.
They use seed beads?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. We made it, folks, to the end of the week. Amber and I don't have any power, so hopefully this video will actually go up on time tomorrow. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it in the form of have it involve pushy people.
It can be hard to say no to pushy people, but it's an important skill to learn.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!